Welcome into the Press Box Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Paul Valley, and most importantly, your lovely and talented host, Mr. Ken Zalis. What's going on, pal?
It's week 10.
It is. I told you before. By about week 7, I have this issue in my life where when I know things are going to be departing my life, I start getting sad. And I'm starting to get sad about the idea that we only have so much football left at this point.
5 weeks in most regular seasons of fantasy football, and then, 2-3 weeks of playoffs. So, it's time to make some moves, and trade deadlines are upon us. It's actually a fun time in fantasy football. Lots of action.
Just how stupid was I for attempting to offer a Justin Herbert and Javonte Williams for Patrick Mahomes trade last week, and how dumb was the guy that I tried to trade with for not taking it?
Well, the guy that didn't take it was very poor judgment. I would have taken that in a almost heartbeat. Wouldn't have even thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm getting a guy that I think in Williams I have tried to acquire over the last 2 weeks everywhere, because I think when you look at the fantasy playoffs, you would hope by then he's totally overtaken Gordon as the top back there as they fall out of playoff contention and things like that. Looking to the future, and he's very talented. He showed that last week. As far as the quarterbacks go, I mean, you're still getting a guy in Herbert that is in fantasy.
Decided to stop stinking which was nice.
It was very, very nice after about a month of what the hell's going on here. That is still in the top 7 of fantasy points per game, versus a guy that, look, Mahomes. We talked about this a little bit. Right now, if you took Mahomes, he's like a league loser right now. He's the top guy that you had to take when he's the guy that we tell you not to take quarterbacks early, but you still took the quarterback early.
Because he was a sure thing.
Because he's a sure thing.
He's a sure thing.
And
it was like Glenn Clark in college.
I mean, I know I picked on, and we a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the whole Herbert thing, whether he was good or not. But Mahomes been just god-awful for 3 weeks. Not even he's been 20 to 24 in quarterback rankings in points in those weeks. And what it's done, it's made either Kelsey or Hill just as bad each week. Now, one of them goes off, but they don't both go off anymore together. Last week, Kelsey was okay, and he scored a touchdown, and Hill was disappeared. So you're playing a guessing game, and the problem is you have to start all 3 of them. If you have them on your team, unless somehow you wound up with a Mahomes Stafford type situation late, things like that, or even Carson Wentz at this point. If you said to me, hey, Carson Wentz or Mahomes, it's not a dumb question right now.
I hear you.
So, you just got to go that. I look at my rankings, and Pat Mahomes is ranked 6th this week. I don't know the last time I've ranked him
outside
that low.
the top 5,
literally outside
in his career,
the top 5.
right? Yeah.
I mean, since his second year in the league when he took over, maybe like week 3 of the first year he was the starter.
Yep.
Maybe it goes back that far where he was outside the top 5. It's crazy.
No, it's nuts.
And there are people in the industry,
but yet I'm still sitting here saying to myself, well, he can't be that bad all year.
But if you said to me, if you show me your rankings and you put him outside the top 10 this week, I'm not going to tell you you're nuts.
Right? I get it.
And it's hurting everything. Maybe CEH coming back in 1 to 2 weeks helps things.
Yep.
But and Odell's not helping that situation. Just so you all know, I mean, Odell can't go to a place like that and be productive.
Is there a place where you think he could?
There's only one.
Okay.
Well, maybe 2.
Okay.
I think if he went to the Patriots, he can be that alpha, still number 1 guy on the outside, and allow Myers to still be the underneath guy and let them do what they do. I think he could go there. I also think he could go to the Saints. Other than that, Green Bay, not going to be productive there. Not going to be productive in Kansas City. I think those are the 2 places that if you think he has anything left, I think we need to go back to 2017. I've made this point. We did this. Up until this year, people were still doing this with Josh Gordon. Now they're different issues.
It's very
different issues. But when I'm making the comparison is, when was the last time Odell Beckham Jr. was useful in fantasy?
There's a difference between being a guy that you think you're starting versus, hey, look, I've got a spot on my bench. Let me give it to him, and maybe if I have to play someone a certain way.
But he's got to go. I think if he goes outside of those two places, I don't know if he's even worth the bench spot.
No, I hear you. Stecca made fun of me because I picked him up in your sleeper league. I'm like, Stecca, have you seen who we're picking up in that sleeper league?
Come on.
Proctor just picked up a running back I've never heard of today. It's whoever the guy is behind Madison in Minnesota, Nwangwu. Yeah. I don't know who that is.
He's a rookie. He's got some juice, but
sure, wonderful. That's where we are in that league.
But he's got to get 2 injuries,
correct,
to be useful.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, Pressbox Fantasy Football Show brought to you by Glory Days Grill. Watch all your favorite games at Glory Days Grill with 25 screens and private speakers at every table. Game day drink specials. Visit us, glorydaysgrill.com, for a location near you. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports. Ken, let me throw some names out at you, and let's talk about them.
Okay.
All right? And just sort of throwing things up against the wall here. Let's just talk about them. If I throw out the name Pat Freiermuth at you.
Top 10 tight end rest of the season.
Okay. About Elijah Moore.
Owned.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be relied upon.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Mike White's playing again, though, and he's the greatest quarterback in the history of quarterbacking.
Can't be relied upon.
You say that.
Corey Davis was missing. Corey Davis will be back. Corey Davis is the number 1 receiver there. This is very I look at Elijah Moore the same way that I tried to warn everybody very early on about Rondell Moore. Rondell Moore had that breakout game, and he had the 60-yard touchdown, and everybody's like, see, this is the guy we expected. And I said it was a broken coverage. He didn't get targets. Guys were out. Let's slow down. I really like Elijah Moore, but I'm going to have a tough time finding a way to get him in my fantasy lineup as long as Corey Davis is playing for the Jets. When Corey Davis is out, Elijah Moore could be on the outside, or if Crowder is out. I just named 2 guys that are going to take targets. When those 2 guys are in, there's not enough targets. Plus, Michael Carter's coming on. They're throwing the ball out of the backfield to Ty Johnson and Carter. There's just not enough with the Jets' offense to sustain. Great game. A lot of people, because of buys, everything had to use them, were really happy. A lot of people spent a whole bunch of money on Fab if they had any left, or took their number 1 waiver wire. That's great. He should be owned. I don't know if I can start him this week.
Okay. I picked him up,
should be owned.
But could be a guy. I'll talk to you about that in a second. We get to mine.
Could be. There are situations.
We'll get to that.
There are situations, but I'm just.
How about
this isn't saving fantasy season?
How about here in Baltimore, Devontae Freeman?
Again, has to be owned. Probably with the way I'm looking at most fantasy teams, he's probably a starter on most of your fantasy teams. Again, very touchdown dependent. Him and Bell, for that matter. Bell's the guy that needs to be owned.
But okay, but when you say that, where's Freeman ranked and where's Bell ranked?
Freeman is probably, and he's probably, for me, and I have to look at exactly like a flex. For me, I have him at 27. Okay, so he's outside the running back 2. Bell, for me, is at 43. So
you have to be in a really deep league.
You have to be in a deep league. Yeah. Like our sleeper league. He's going to be starting somewhere. Yep. Okay. But again, until Murray comes back for the Ravens, both have to be owned. Freeman's a starter. Freeman's a starter in most leagues right now.
Okay. What about Jordan Howard?
If I have Freeman at 27, I bet you I have Howard not far behind. I have Howard at 28.
Okay.
So same situation. I think you look at all of a sudden what they're doing in Philadelphia. They've just decided that they can run the ball, and that's what they're doing. And Howard's the guy that they trust most, even over Boston Scott, who hasn't looked bad running the ball. And I think we just all have to hold our breath.
What do you think anything about what it means for when Miles Sanders returns?
Was my next statement.
A lot of people dropping Miles Sanders. There have been a lot of outright drops of Miles Sanders.
I have seen that. Sanders needs to be owned. First of all, let's not go crazy. I would hope that it means that Sanders gets 15 touches, rushes a game, and they figured out, we really kind of screwed this up. I mean, we should have been running the ball all along, and we have a guy that on any given play, as we've seen over time, can take it 80 yards. Why would we not give this guy 10 to 15 touches and not limit him to 2? I think what it makes when he comes back, I think it makes Boston Scott on the edge type rosterable guy. It takes Gainwell totally out of the equation, even though Gainwell got that cheap touchdown last week. But what it does most of all with Sanders is it probably eliminates him from being the goal line back.
Okay.
So,
are you even bothering to spend a roster spot on Cam Newton?
I've picked him up twice today.
Okay.
Again, who's your backup? What are your bye weeks? My one backup in one league, I rolled out Tyrod Taylor last week. Who am I? I'd rather take the chance that Cam Newton's back, so I picked him up. In another league,
by the way, it hasn't even officially been signed yet.
Hasn't been officially
right?
signed, but so many people are leaning towards it. And look, they need to sign somebody. Let's be honest. And maybe,
P.J. Walker was a star in the XFL. How dare you disparage that man?
I was just about to say.
You loved the XFL.
I did.
Or was it what was the one you loved? You loved both of them.
I loved both of them. It was football. It was football in the spring.
Problem. You have a problem, sir.
It was great.
Seek help.
It was great. It was offensive football. How much fun was that? P.J. Walker may go and light the world up. Over the next...
you didn't know Mike White was going to be the greatest quarterback in the history of quarterbacking? He's the greatest quarterback in the history of quarterbacking.
Ever. But they did. They have nothing behind P.J. Walker. Darnold is done for probably at least a month, and quite frankly, after week 3 this year, he sucked. As much fun as it was for 3 weeks, that he was the guy that we all saw pre-draft. It just whatever. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. And you want to crown their ass? Crown them. That's pretty much what we did.
Whoa,
hey,
Jesus!
We're throwing things.
Holy hell!
How many leagues?
That worked up about Sam Darnold.
Did you own him in many leagues?
Oh,
God.
Glenn started shouting. I got scared.
God, that was nerve-wracking.
You should never come in on Project Game.
Yeah.
But look, yeah, I think all the tea leaves and so many people are reporting this that I think he does sign with Carolina. It's not a bad landing spot if you still held on to him. And if you're rolling with one quarterback, why not?
All right. Let's cover the Cleveland situation. Nick Chubb could be able to play. Hopefully you picked up Dearness Johnson. Is it as simple as that,
Yeah.
Either Nick Chubb's playing and you're playing him, or if he's not, you're playing Dearness Johnson?
I have Johnson right now. So right now my thought process, because of the way COVID has been and what we've learned from it, is that Chubb probably doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
If he does, great. Put him in
if he's playing, you're playing Nick Chubb, obviously.
I have Johnson at 11 right now.
Okay. He's a starter. I get it. Yep.
You plugged him in.
Yep.
He's the only guy, like they signed some other guy off the street to be the backup who's not going to touch the ball. So we're going to get 20, 25 maybe touches. And he showed when he could handle that when he was there. So that's what they want to do. It's that simple.
The Minnesota situation we must discuss.
Let me say this. I'm going to come at this strictly fantasy football.
Understood.
He's RB1 this week. Literally RB1 for me this week. Okay, before all this came out, I do my rankings late Tuesday night, to get him up, and then I make adjustments as we go on. He's RB1 because he plays the Chargers. They can't stop anybody on the ground.
Understood.
Okay.
Entirely.
If he's playing, that's where he is.
I think to me it was more like, we'll get to something I did. I had to use a waiver claim to pick up Alexander Madison.
Okay, sure.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
If you own Dalvin Cook,
absolutely. If Madison somehow is still on your waiver wire, needs to be owned.
Yep,
1,000%.
That's sort of where I am.
That's it. We don't know. Anybody thinks they know. We don't know. We
Yep.
know what we've been told. But apparently this has been around since 2020.
Yep. 100%.
We're just finding out about it now. So we'll see where it goes. But from all indications, he's playing football this week. He's RB1.
Any other injury things that we need to be monitoring? I mean, obviously, we need to monitor what happens with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's Aaron Rodgers.
You ain't playing Jordan Love again this week. I know that much.
There's Aaron Rodgers. We still got the Kyler Murray. We want to see him practice before he plays. We got the Hopkins. Tampa, we really have to watch that. All of a sudden, Godwin has a foot issue that came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Brown doesn't have his boot on anymore, but hasn't practiced. Gronk, can't see how he plays. He can't get through a day without a back issue. So, guys like Tyler Johnson, if right now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're hurting at wide receiver, just go grab Tyler Johnson right now, and also keep an eye on Scotty Miller, because Scotty Miller is eligible to come back. If Brown, Godwin, and Gronk all miss the game, find out where O.J. Howard is on your waiver wire. Find out where Tyler Johnson is for sure, and monitor Scotty Miller, because they got to throw to somebody. In what we think is a good matchup now against Washington, because they haven't stopped anybody all year.
Correct.
Watch the Dallas situation. It's so hard when we do this show, because Wednesdays used to be the day. Oh, who comes to practice? Now nobody practices. If you have a hang down, nobody practices anymore. So, AJ Brown still should be monitored. I think that's just his thing now. He just doesn't practice on Wednesdays anymore. And look at that. I think those are.
Logan. We need to talk about Logan Thomas.
Thought
right.
We're right there today.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas is expected to come off of IR and be activated to play this week, so he would jump back into that top 10, top 12 for sure, depending on what you feel. Situation should be owned in all leagues with the way obviously if you have Kelsey on your roster, or or Waller, or even Andrews, at this point, the guys that have, you don't really need them, but he should be owned everywhere. I just remind people, Ricky Seals-Jones was a thing in that offense. Okay, now you got a guy that was really, really good before he got hurt, and coming back. So he's a guy that that should be there. He'll probably wind up, once he's officially activated, somewhere around 10 for me.
Okay.
This week. Again, can't run against Tampa. You got to throw the ball. So there should be plenty of targets.
You just shared out your Underdog Fantasy lineup a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I did. Still having fun with that. Doing the NBA thing. Kind of had I have a lineup that's just for tonight. I have a lineup that's for the whole week. Where over under, I took the over for 17.5 completions for Lamar tonight. Seems low to me.
It seems low, although
shockingly,
perhaps they just think this is going to be a laugher so quickly that maybe Lamar gets pulled or something along those lines.
Maybe I think he could throw 17 completions in the first half.
I hear you.
The way this works, I know Miami struggles against the run, but I don't know that Baltimore can necessarily expose that, especially in first half of games for some reason. But yeah, a lot of fun. I love. I also did on one that's going tonight, the Mark Andrews versus Mike Gesicki, who's going to have more reception yards, and I get 4.5 by taking Andrews. So if they both have 50, I win.
That's weird.
It was weird. It was
very weird.
It was strange to me.
Yeah.
It was strange to me, but doing a lot of NBA stuff as well. But the best part about, not the best part, but right now, if you haven't joined Underdog, first of all, it's a ton of fun. You should do it. If you like fantasy football, you obviously do if you're listening to my voice right now, you should do it. You can't do prop bets in Maryland, so you might as well do it through here. 2 to 5 prop bets a week. You can win up to $20 times your money. You can also do the traditional, salary cap things and drafts and all that kind of fun stuff. NBA, NHL. In certain places, if you're not listing in Maryland, college basketball, college football. Hopefully someday that comes
That'd be
to Maryland,
nice.
comes to Maryland. But go right now, dollar for dollar, up to $100 on your first deposit. So if you deposit $100, you get $100 more to play with. If you're not sure, hey, deposit 10. You get 10 for free.
Yep.
Why not?
And you just got to use the code PRESSBOX when you do that.
Sorry,
use the code
PRESSBOX.
PRESSBOX, and we'll match that money. We come back in. We'll answer your questions. Get them in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter and the comments on Facebook, and we will pose them to KZ next. It's Glenn Clark Radio. No, it's not. I lied. It's the PRESSBOX Fantasy Football Show.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career? Or maybe you want an IT certification. CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field. And it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity, and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training.
Come in for Glory Burgers, Glory Wings. There's glory for everyone at Glory Days Grill. Enjoy their award-winning burgers, ribs, and wings, or try our fresh salads, hand-cut salmon, or our scrumptious sandwiches. Yum! Come in for our daily specials every weekday, like $6.99 burgers on Mondays and $5.99 nachos on Thursdays. And watch football on their big screens every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Dine in and let us serve you, or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and take it home. Visit us at glorydaysgrill.com for a location near you. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
If you change lanes and brake suddenly in front of my tractor trailer, I won't be able to stop. Our lives could change forever. Trucks need room to stop. Don't cut it close.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyus Bowser. I can't wait to see you guys for the Tyus Bowser Show this fall. We're going to be taking the show on the road all over the area. You can meet me and my very special guests. If you can't make it out, you can watch the show on live on PressBox Facebook page or listen the next day. Find out more about where we'll be by checking out PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser. We'll see you all season long for the Tyus Bowser Show.
PressBox and Grade 8's memorabilia bring you the next Tyus Bowser Show Tuesday, November 16th at Mother's in Timonium. It's also brought to you by Window Depot Baltimore, WindowDepotBaltimore.com, and by Duffy's Garage in Baldwin, Duffy'sGarageMD.com. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is coming soon to Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Maryland, this is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
Back in here on the PressBox Fantasy Football Show. Now we get to your questions. KZ tells you what it is that you should be doing this week. KZ, as always, we start with me because I'm the most important. When I decide I'm putting in a waiver claim, I might as well go ahead and put in a bunch, right? Like, that's the way that I operate. If I'm losing my
contingency plans,
right? If I'm losing my waiver priority, I'm going to try to get some bang for my buck. I did not expect. I got all of my waiver claims this week, so now I'm left in a bit of a conundrum because my roster is quite bloated. And I had even forgotten about Logan Thomas this week, who I wanted. So I gotta do some things in order to get a kicker and a defense back on my team at the moment. Wow. So let me start with this. Receivers that I'm starting this week.
Yes.
Hollywood Brown, Jarvis Landry, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and Elijah Moore start three of that group.
No more. The Sutton and Landry thing is it's Sutton or Landry is the odd man out, and
Landry stunk last week.
Sutton wasn't much better.
That's true.
And Sutton is like the wide receiver 2. I mean, he's the wide receiver, like he's the X guy, he's the outside guy, but because of the quarterback, Jeudy is the guy to get most of the targets. Landry in a spot where no Odell, he just hasn't. Like, teams have taken him out and forced Baker to go elsewhere, which he has with the tight ends and Peoples-Jones. Philadelphia stops nobody through the air.
Okay.
So I'm going to lean Sutton. They're really close for me, but I'm going to lean Sutton.
All right. We are assuming that James Robinson is back this week.
I'm not assuming anything. I want to see him practice,
Okay.
obviously. His coach said he expected him to come back, but until we see a limited Thursday or Friday, I can't give you the A-OK on him.
All right, so if he doesn't play,
Yes.
am I playing Devontae Freeman or you know what? I guess I could play one of the I could play Landry. I could play Moore. I could play Devontae Freeman.
I would probably tell you to go Devontae Freeman tonight.
But now that makes it tricky because I'm waiting on James Robinson.
So you put Robinson in your flex, and you put
Right, but what I'm saying right now is Robinson would be my flex because I've got Cook and Swift.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Cook and Swift.
Yeah, so Robinson would be my flex. So
he's worth the wait.
You're right. That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
too.
he's worth the wait. I had a very similar question earlier and from somebody, and I was like,
so I guess I'm down to Landry or Moore.
Yeah, I mean, you would go
Play
Landry.
Yeah,
You would go Landry.
if Robinson doesn't
Yes,
play.
right.
All right, very good. Now here's the real issue.
Yeah.
I got to drop two of these cats. Two guys have to go in order for me to make way for a kicker and a defense.
Okay.
So Jeremy McNichols.
You can cut him.
I can cut Jeremy McNichols. You're
Is this the same team?
Yes, same team.
No, you don't need him.
But where are you with the Tennessee situation looks like moving forward?
I mean, I am actually. I think what you got out of AP is you're going to get more yards and a couple more touches week in and week out, very touchdown dependent. The sneaky guy there is Dante Foreman. He's sneaky. I mean, McNichols' role really didn't change. I mean, he got a couple more carries, and he's going to be the third down back. With that team that you just mentioned to me, I got no problem cutting him.
Okay. I just realized the Pittsburgh defense got cut, and so I'm going to put in a waiver claim because I'm already at the lower end of the totem pole for waivers,
Yeah,
so I'm just going to
absolutely.
go ahead and put one in for them
Yes.
to be my defense this week. And then the other that I drop is Moore.
Well,
Like, it'd be Moore, Freeman, or I could drop Zach Ertz if I play Logan Thomas this week. Would you play Logan Thomas or Zach Ertz? I guess you'd start there.
Thomas would be the guy over Ertz for me. Love Ertz, but when everybody's there, lots of mouths to feed. I mean, I would probably tell you, and you hate to do this because I know you wasted a waiver party. I'd tell you to drop more.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't really waste a
because
waiver on it. Yeah.
You're having Logan Thomas coming back from injury. What if he reactivates it? Then you want to have a top 10 tight end, and that's or top 12 tight end, and that's where Ertz is. It's going to be the rest of the week. I'd have a tough time outside of what bye weeks are ahead for all those players, seeing you ever really getting more consistently in your lineup.
I get that. All right. John Proctor wants to know, would you run Laviska Shenault out there one more
No.
time or go with Marquez Valdez? Scantling, the only waiver options
Take a
are
zero.
the only waiver options are Ayuk or Deontay Harris.
Take Ayuk. Just
Okay.
Just look, I know I'm going to go with the talent, and Ayuk, you have Debo that's a little bit nicked up. He plays, but he's a little nicked up. Kittle is always an injury risk. I can't with Shenault. I mean, Chenault's going to blow up in a game somewhere, but why would it be this week versus any of the first 9 weeks where we thought he would? Valdez Scantling is a one-play, hope and Chuck type player. Ayuk is a guy I would of those three I would take the risk on.
All right. Nick Kelly, it's very generic. Is Jeff Wilson still worth stashing?
In a vacuum, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, roster construction and all that. I mean, he's the guy that eventually I think that will still be the goal line back there and get more and more as he goes on. But if you have bye issues, if you have injury, if you have COVID issues, and you need to drop him,
All right.
because he doesn't have a really good role right this moment.
Tom asked that you rank these flex options because he says he has some injury things that could require whether or not he plays certain guys. So he asked that you rank these flex options.
Let me rank. How many are we ranking?
It looks like 4. No,
Okay.
5.
Oh,
5.
fantastic.
5.
I love these.
Javonte Williams, Dawson Knox, Logan Thomas, Elijah Moore, Marquez Callaway.
Williams.
Okay.
Thomas. Give me the other 3.
Knox, Callaway, and Moore.
We're assuming everybody's healthy and active. So Knox.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd like to
Callaway Moore.
I'd like to hope at this point you're not playing your 4th and 5th options, but if that's
Callaway Moore.
Callaway Moore.
I mean,
right.
I love what Moore did last week, but he's got to do it more consistently. And again, so I'll say this: there's one caveat here. If Davis is not in, Moore may be my 3rd option in this list.
I just dropped a lot. You just had me drop Elijah Moore in another league.
I said but look at your team. I mean, my God.
Well, yeah, it's not. You'd think that, wouldn't you?
I know, but you have
think
options.
that wouldn't
Just bad
you?
luck.
All right, go ahead, Paul.
All right, so in my one league, I need a flex option. I have Adrian Peterson, Zach Moss, or Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard.
Howard.
Pretty easily for me right now.
Okay. Tight end, Mark Andrews or Freiermuth?
And it's still Andrews.
Andrews.
I get it. I get the trajectory. Miami is in the, I believe, again, I get mixed up, but both the Ravens and Miami are like in the bottom 5 in tight end coverages. So they give up the most yards to tight ends on a weekly basis so far. So still Andrews.
Okay. In our league where we have like 19 active players, Le'Veon Bell or Alexander Madison?
I mean, it's Bell.
Bell.
I mean, unless somehow Cook's out. I mean, Madison when Cook is in is a 5-touch guy, and I expect more than that tonight on a short week from Bell.
Okay. And are we, if you touched on this, I apologize. I don't think you did. Is Antonio Brown's out of the walking boot, didn't practice. Is he likely to play this week? Or?
I don't expect him to play. It's one of the things that we did, we just kind of mentioned his name. But until he practices, I don't think we can be real confident that he plays this week.
Okay.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career, or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field, and it's all tuition-free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need from hardware to programming to cybersecurity and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training. I always forget about that godforsaken league. I always look down. I'm like, all right, I need to figure out what I'm doing.
Breaking news?
Oh, breaking news whenever it feels like breaking is what Justin Schlegel would say.
It is official.
No, not Justin Schlegel. Who's the guy? Josh Spiegel.
Josh Spiegel.
You shouldn't be allowed to have names so similar.
It is official. The Panthers have signed Cam Newton.
So championship. That's what – he probably doesn't play Sunday. Probably doesn't play on Sunday.
Probably doesn't play Sunday.
Probably doesn't play Sunday.
Knows the offense. But I would guess that for those people that are in 2-quarterback leagues that went and got P.J. Walker, enjoy P.J. Walker week.
Is there any juice left for A.J. Dillon?
Yeah.
Like, would I play him or, say, Tim Patrick?
I mean, probably still Dillon just based on the usage. I mean, he's still getting – I mean, he outproduced Aaron Jones each of the last 2 weeks.
I hear you.
So, yeah.
All right.
By the way, Rondell Moore, Chase Edmonds, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, all not practicing.
Oh, boy. Oh,
it's only Thursday.
boy.
It's only Thursday, but – since that came across before.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, James Conner's the greatest player in the history of fantasy football. My
greatest.
God, he's amazing.
I was stunned by this. I mean, Conner, I get what he is, but Conner was having a really good year.
Yeah.
He was on a waiver wire in one of my leagues.
Was he? What the?
In a league, in a fab league, and one guy just emptied his whole fab. I mean, just
well, I mean,
like, yeah.
I mean, the guy,
why wouldn't you?
He's been one of the most consistent producing players all season long. I completely
He
get
has
it.
117 touchdowns.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's
it's ridiculous.
It's just absolutely crazy.
All right. Anything else?
No, not
All right.
really. No.
All right, at Fans Fantasy on Twitter. That's how you follow him. If you didn't get your question in, you can pose it to him there. And, of course, what's up at PressBoxOnline.com right now?
PressBoxOnline.com. DFS is up there right now. And you will have tomorrow. You will have the sleeper article as well as I will update before tonight's game the rankings, and then also on Sunday.
Very good. All right, sir. Appreciate you as always. He's Ken Zalis. We will be back tomorrow morning for Glenn Clark Radio, and then we will have the next PressBox Fantasy Football Show next Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. Announcement: Thanksgiving week. We're going to do a special PressBox Fantasy Football Show at 4:30 on Wednesday. We will do a special show. That's what we agreed to. Are you?
Yeah, we're good. I'm just messing with
I
you.
swear to Christ.
I'm just messing with
Swear to everything. Hammer out these details, and Ken's all of a sudden like, the thing about that is, no. Jerk. All right. Anyway, that's it. This has been the PressBox Fantasy Football Show.